right, we're here in beautiful Gary, Indiana this week with one of my favorite deal makers and Inner Circle members, and truly just a friend, Junior Martin, who's been buying and building an amazing rental portfolio from scratch with like none of your own money. So, can you talk about like how you're doing that and what you're doing here?
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, I appreciate it. And, it's really only possible because of people like Jim and many others that have invested in me throughout, throughout the years. And yeah, we're able to, through a bunch of different sources, find homes like this. And we have a lot of opportunity here within the city of Gary because of, a lot of homes that are in similar situations. We're able to get them at a good price and be able to have the teams in place to do the rehabs. And, the goal with these is to keep them long term. So typically, a house like this is a little bit larger of a home than what I normally do. It's a 4 bedroom, 1.5 bath. But typically, the rehab with something like this is about 7 to 8 weeks, and then we'll get on the market. We'll source a tenant. We'll get a tenant occupied, and then within a month or so after the tenant moves in, you'll start the refinance process to pay back my private lenders, and then to keep that house leveraged and to hold it long term or until it doesn't make sense anymore.
So, how did you find this particular property and why did you like it? Was it just numbers driven? And the house across the street's really nice.
Yeah. Yeah, so this was actually a referral from a mutual friend. They picked it up, and they were, instead of flipping it themselves, they were kind of advertising a little bit to see if they might wholesale it, and yeah, the numbers just made perfect sense. This is a great neighborhood. A lot of the houses are larger, and there's a lot of history in this area, and so I mean the numbers were really good. This house will rent for about 1,500. Once complete, we'll be all in at about 107, 108. So.
Those are great numbers. So how are you going to exit? How are you going to like get out of your short-term funding and into permanent financing so you can hold it for 10 or 20 years?
No, definitely. So I'm a big fan of DSCR. I have several good lenders that I work with, and so we'll refinance this with a tenant in place, and the DSCR process is pretty quick and easy. So you'll get the process started. We'll have an appraisal done, and then basically just they base it on the rental income, and so like I said, the numbers on this will be really good,
Fine.
and so they'll they'll refinance it into a 30-year mortgage.
Talk a little bit about how you're going to do that. Like in the past, you've used Rick. Would you
Yes.
use Katie again on this one?
I am. Yep, I'm using Rick almost exclusively
Rick
now
Bressler with Katie
with
Capital.
Katie Capital. Yep, he's actually doing two that are supposed to actually close next week for me, and we got one that we just started, and you'll get this one as well.
Love it. Thanks,
Yep.
Junior.
No,
Congrats on everything.
I appreciate it. Thank you.